They recently released a new album that went top 10, and now you're going to have a chance to see For King and Country live here in Las Vegas. We have the brothers Joel and Luke Smallbone joining us now to get us ready for it. Morning, fellas.
Top of the morning to you. Excited to be heading your way, my friend.
Yeah, you're in Nash Vegas, as I call it right now, but you're going to be coming to the real Las Vegas soon, which we'll get to here in just a second. But first, belated congrats on that top 10 album. What are we waiting for? Tell us about putting that album together and what really the meaning behind those songs meant to you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it was one of the rare times for us to make an album actually at home. In the past, making music's been a little bit of a panic because you're making music on the bus, in the back lounge, in dressing rooms, walking off a bus, going to a studio to record a vocal to then head back home. I mean, it was just it's like organized chaos. And this time was one of the first times for us to ever make music, for the most part, just being home. I think that, like a sponge absorbs water, we were able to absorb this music in a little bit of a different capacity, and hopefully the songs become the most personal, the most real that they've ever become. I mean, the themes on this record that are very global, we wrote a lot of songs about family. Obviously, there's a spiritual lens that these songs were written through, and so obviously, anytime that this music gets out to people, it feels a little bit like there's a sigh of relief. Because I often say that we write these songs to resonate with our own souls, but when somebody else resonates with them, it makes our souls feel a little bit less lonely. And so that's taken place now, and very grateful for it.
Well, it seems like it's resonating pretty well because Relate hit #1 on the Hot Christian Songs chart, in addition to another #1 earlier in your career. So who did you collaborate with on this album?
Man, I'm glad you asked because For King and Country in general is a band of collaborators. It's Luke and myself. We're two of 7 kids. Most of our siblings are involved in some way, shape, or form. There's collaboration on the road. You got 6 other musicians with us and 46 instruments, and there's 30 crew members. I mean, it's just a beautiful ensemble. And then in the studio, it's no different. You've got producers. You've got Matt Hales or Aqualung over in Bath, England, who executive produced. You've got Ted T, who's worked with some great artists over the years, who produced it. Josh Kerr, big in the country world, really was kind of the key writer with it beyond Luke and myself. And then there was another key week where our A&R at the record label came and said, you got to go to LA to do a writer's trip. And I was like, nah, because here's the thing about going to LA. I love LA, my wife's from there. But when you're doing a writer's trip, it's basically like speed dating meets therapy, a therapy session meets a meet and greet. And you're sort of thrown into this world with people you've never met before, and you've got to try and be vulnerable. And I was like, I don't want to do it. Well, Luke, this is the tension and the sort of compromise of brothers, but he was like, I think we should. So we did. 3 out of the 13 songs on the record came from that week. The album title came from that week. And we worked with just some marvelous people out there that week as well. So yeah, it's certainly an album of collaborations, it's a band of collaborations, and we wouldn't have it any other way, really.
And I hear it's almost like therapy for musicians when they actually get to hit the stage performing live in front of their fans and new fans alike. And you guys are actually be coming here May 17th here in Las Vegas at Orleans Arena. Have you guys been performing during COVID, or is this the first go around for a whole batch of concerts?
Yeah, we actually did some drive-in shows. So we would, rent out drive-in theaters or parking lots, and we would do some drive-in events. And so, yeah, we got good at performing for Fords and Toyotas and such. And so for us, this is probably the most normal circumstances that we have toured under. We did do a Christmas tour last Christmas, but it still was one of those a little bit touch and go at moments. And so this is, I think through the pandemic, we are coming into a new normal. I don't think you can ever erase what we've gone through over the last 2 years, and there's many valuable lessons to bring with us from that pandemic. But I think for this, I mean, there is a new normal, even touring, and I think there's a new appreciation for it. I mean, who would have ever thought that we would have had some of these things that we loved taken away from us? And I think, I don't know if it's therapy, but it certainly is a celebration for us when we get to take the stage and share these moments with people.
And speaking of your great town, Micah, we've actually dubbed ourselves, as of today, the Australian version of a Cirque du Soleil show, particularly this tour, because there's some flying in the air, the things are moving around. And so for Las Vegas, you know, natives or guests, if you love Cirque du Soleil, maybe you'll like For King and Country.
All right, we're going to patent it. Cirque du for King and Country. There we go. Rings right off the tongue.
There you go.
We appreciate it, fellas. We're looking forward to seeing you here next month.
All right, man.
See you then.
Thanks.
For King and
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil.
So-
Soleil. For King and Soleil.
We'll talk after
There you
this
go,
and
that's
we'll
it.
figure it out.
All right, see you, buddy.
All right. Again, catch Cirque du, just kidding, For King and Country, May 17th at Orleans Arena. ForKingandCountry.com, the place to go to learn more about their new album as well.